Hey, so I do have my eyebrows on. I do look a little crazy. Thanks for joining me. I wanted to test a few products and then I thought, why can't we just test a few all at the same time? So I'm going to try the Mattifying Balm Oil Control by Ulta, and I will tell you a little bit right now, like, I don't like the packaging. It just kind of seems cheap, and it also didn't explain how to use it, so I had to like go look it up. But the neat thing is you're supposed to be able to use this before your makeup or after. If you want to mattify it like a normal primer or whatever, you'd put it on before your foundation, or if you're starting to get the little shines and you want to mattify after you put your makeup on, you're supposed to be able to do that as well. And I will probably show that just at the very, very end. So my last check-in. Now for foundation, we're going to try the Pure Hydro Fluid Water Serum Foundation. And this is by Pure Minerals or Pure Cosmetics, because I know that they've been kind of in the process of changing their name. Now what it says about this: get an instant youthful looking complexion with this innovative formula that utilizes an encapsulation technology to deliver water to the skin for hydration and radiance. I have used all these products at least once. This is pretty new though. I've only used it a couple times, and I will say it's a little bit too yellow for my skin tone, so that's not what we're looking for. We're just looking for the longevity, how it looks, and if it's good for my, I've gone to an anesthetist. Did I say that right? I hope I did. And I have combination to oily skin, so it's definitely combination, but it's more on the oily side. It's a Dermalogica person who did my skin, so they have like combination kits. They have more combination to dry and combination oily. I'm more combination oily, so we'll see how this works on my skin, because I'm going to put this all over my skin, but I'm going to put this on half. So we'll kind of see how if this mattifies this, and what this looks like on top of a primer and also just on bare skin. And I'm not really going to use like much concealer or anything. I will contour a little bit, but I'm going to try to keep those as my main products on my face, if that makes sense. And then on my right eye, I'm going to have Thank Me Later. And on my left eye, I am going to have the Anti-Age Smoothing Eye Primer by Cover FX. So right, left. I'm going to start by putting the eye primer on. And I'm just going to do this for the camera, just so you can see that I'm putting it on the correct eye. I like doing these videos too because I end up getting a little, like, it educates me, because I think I love something and then I'm like, oh, it's not that great. Or like, I think I don't really like something and then I realize that's better than I expected. So these, I should have showed you the consistency of the Thank Me Later by Elizabeth Mott, but they're very similar in the way they look and feel. They have a very watery, thin consistency. The Elizabeth Mott, I just feel like it's a little bit more tacky after you put it on, but you can't feel it except for when you're putting your makeup actually on. Alright, so that was the left eye. And now I'm going to put on the Mattifying Balm. Again, I want to tell you I've used this and I think it works and I love it, so I'm excited to see if it really works. And I'll probably only be able to show you like what my makeup looked about 8 hours later, because I got my hair done earlier and so I didn't put makeup on. So I'm not going to stay up till 1 and 2 or 3 in the morning so that I can film this. But anywho, I do actually like this, so I'm interested to see if I do like it on camera. I will zoom in for this because it's supposed to mattify instantly. I like to use my fingertips for this. It's a very thick balm, and I'm just going to put this on the right side. And just more so in the center of my face where I have the issues with the oiliness. And a little bit up here, because this is one of the places that's always oily. I want to look at myself in the mirror. I mean, I think it already looks so much more matte. Let me zoom you in. I think if you... Okay. This is the side I put it on, and I think this already looks more matte, and it definitely filled in my pores. That's what I think. I think instantly it looks so much better. Look up here. And go ahead and look. This is Elizabeth Mott, and this is the Cover FX. So you can look. I didn't zoom in earlier because I didn't even think about it, because they both look the same. But, okay, so I put this on this side of my face. Now I'm going to put this all over my face. I do love the dropper, just the look of it. I don't think it does anything major or anything, but I do like the dropper. This is a little bit of a runnier type of foundation, but not too runny. I mean, you can see it's not like running down my cheek or anything. I'll link this below. I got it from Ulta. What I do when Ulta has like those good like gifts with purchase kind of things, I will tend to, if I want something, I'll tend to add 1 or 2 things to the cart that I just want to try. And that way, if I don't like it, I can take it back. If I do, then I just found a love that, you know, I didn't expect. So I kind of wanted to try this foundation out. I use it with different brushes. So I don't have a brush that I love or hate. I don't particularly love this brush for, I like this brush more for primers, but it was kind of clean. I'm not one of those people who puts a ton of foundation on. This, I believe they said, was a medium coverage and that it's buildable. I do think it's a little buildable. I would kind of call this a light coverage for one coat, but again, I also put on a lot less foundation than most people. So I'll go in and put just a little bit more, particularly in a few of the areas where I get red, and then around my chin because I didn't pull it down my neck. I feel like I use a lot more of this foundation. Like, I feel, maybe it's because it's water-based or whatever, but it seems to sink into my skin, but like then I feel like I'm wasting a lot of product. And it wasn't a cheap foundation. I can't remember because I'm going to try the Buxom one. I think that one of them, the Buxom one or this one, was either 40 or 30. So again, I'll link it below. Look how dry my lips look. Okay, I'm going to zoom in. I want to show you some spots. If you watch my channel, you know that I'm in love with the Pure mascaras, so you can probably assume that I was really excited to try this. I don't think it looks as bad on my skin as it normally does. I have gotten a little bit of sun, although I wear sunscreen, I've still gotten a little bit of sun the past couple weeks because it has been nice and we've gone hiking with the dogs and stuff. So maybe it does look a little bit better because I still think it's a little mismatched, but it's not as bad as it was when I first tried it. So I'm going to zoom in. Again, I've worn this a couple times and I do notice that it emphasizes different crevices that I didn't know I had. Like there's this spot on my nose that it just does not fill into. And this brush probably isn't the best for it, but even a regular foundation brush, I find that problem. There are little craters right here next to my eyebrow that I seriously didn't know I had. I'm going to zoom into them. And for this wanting to be youthful, it's showing every flaw I have. And flaws that normally most don't show. So I don't like that. Just looking around here. This is a little dry patch from some of my skincare stuff. It's not really covering much of the redness. You can kind of see it's supposed to make me look a little more youthful and younger, and you can see that it's, first impression, I don't love the way it looks on my skin. The one thing I must say, because I have worn this just a couple of times, the first time I really hated it. The second time, and I don't know what I did differently, the second time I did notice that when I first put it on I hate it, but then a couple hours later it starts to look really good. So I'm interested to see what it does today. I'm going to go put makeup on, and then that way we can see what the Mattifying Primer Balm does and how everything looks, and so I'll be right back. I put my makeup on. By the way, I am wearing eyeshadow from this new brand. It's called Itsy, and I bought this little Z palette. I was looking for C palettes, and that's how I found them, because I wanted a cheaper alternative, and I thought their eyeshadows were cute, so I decided to buy some, and I will do a review of these just because I think they're cute. They are cruelty free, and so that's what I am wearing, but I thought I would show you, so that'll be coming up soon. Anywho, I have put on my makeup. I just put contour and I put this blush on. So I just have a little bit of contour, a little blush. I didn't put any concealer on anywhere on my face. I didn't put any like neutralizers or any like color corrector or anything. So there's no highlighter. I tend to just have a natural highlight anyway, just a little bit oily. So I don't have anything weird on my face besides just blush and contour. So I'm going to zoom in. I want to show you my eyes, although I don't think they really look different at all. I think the big test that we'll see is at the end of the day which one looks creasier. And I don't have a mirror in front of me, but I did notice this side looked just a little bit more matte than this side, but I feel like they look basically the same. I also noticed that the Pure Minerals foundation already looks so much better than it did when I first put it on, and it's probably been about 30-35 minutes since it's been on. It seems to want to like blend itself, if that makes sense, and then kind of spread, if that makes sense. Alright, so I'm going to go zoom in. This eye has the Thank Me Later primer by Elizabeth Mott. this eye has the Cover FX Anti-Aging Smoothing Primer. And so this is what they look like together. I didn't really notice that one blended better than the other. It's a little bit patchy, maybe a little bit on the sides, but I feel like both kind of did that, so that's probably more my fault. And the eyeshadow I was using, I don't feel like either eyeshadow looks brighter. It might have stuck a little bit more to this one, so that's kind of important, but I feel like they were about the same. Now looking at my skin, remember the mattifying balm is on this side, and this foundation is on everything, but this side is just the foundation. And I'll zoom in a little bit closer. This is the side with just, I do have some weird fallout, like this is a little bit of product that just got stuck on my hands. I'm not even wearing it today. But anyway, so this is what the side with just foundation, and you see the little spot nick in my nose that I knew was there, but it was very pronounced earlier. It's kind of, the makeup's kind of filled that a little bit. This is the side with just the foundation. This is the side with the mattifying. And I don't have a mirror in here to really look, but what I see just close up is this is definitely more shiny than this, and it does look more sheer. The coverage looks more sheer over there, and kind of like oily, and like my makeup's not setting very well. We'll take a look at my chin. My chin is definitely a red, more red area. I don't think the Ulta mattifying balm or anything did anything with the color, which it wouldn't, but you know, it doesn't look like either side has better coverage from the foundation or not, and it kind of just looks shiny overall. Maybe a little bit more matte here. It's kind of hard to tell. And I just got my hair dyed today, so that's why if you see a little bit of weirdness around the side of my face, that's why, because it's just the dye. I will check back here in probably 4 to 5 hours and let you know how everything's going. Today is a short day. I'm gonna head to work, and I'll be back to check in 4 to 5 hours. It has been 4 hours since I have last seen you, and so that was awkward. Let's start with the eye primers. This is the Elizabeth Mott Thank Me Later, and this is the Cover FX Anti-Aging Smoothing Primer. Let's zoom in. This is what my eye makeup looks like. I just looked in the mirror myself because this viewfinder, I can't see anything in it. I feel like they look pretty much the same. I can see just a tiny bit of pre-creasing. I don't know what that even means. I can see a little bit of activity right here where it's wanting to part ways. This eye looks pretty good, so we'll see how that goes. But I think overall both of them seem to be holding up about the same. Now on to these two products. I put the Mattifying Balm by Ulta, the oil control, on this side of my face, and I put the Hydra Fluid Water Serum Foundation by Pure Cosmetics on the whole face. And so let's talk about the mattifying first. And also, I don't know, should I throw in the review of OFRA Laguna Beach? Because I've been wearing this for 4 hours too, and it's looking good. Sorry about the highlight I just put on my lip. It's like poking you in the eye. But anyway, yeah, I put this on, and the only thing I dislike right now is this crusty stuff in the inner corner, but I get that all the time. But yeah, so it looks good. My lips aren't dry. I haven't reapplied. I've taken several drinks, like drinks, and looks good. So let's zoom in. Let's talk about the balm first. I do feel like this side is a little bit more matte. The oil isn't as bad over there, but there's still definitely some shine, and I feel like my pores are still a little bit more concealed than over on this side. What is that? Got it. I feel like my foundation is starting to pick up over here and surface a little bit. Let's look right here. And again, I have a little wrinkle here, so that can't really count. I definitely think right here, my pores do not look as apparent as over here. Right, just in this area, I think kind of everywhere else, they look about the same, but I definitely think there's a noticeable difference right here. We can look at the sides of my nose. I don't really see much of a difference. Oh, gosh. My makeup. Let's look at the side of my nose. You can definitely tell that this side of my face is way more oily than this side. I think it's like pretty obvious. So I'm going to zoom in even further just so we can really look at the pores and then we'll do the foundation. So this is the side without the primer. Let's look. Okay, now let's look at the side with the primer. We're mostly just looking at pores now. See, I don't see as many there. I do feel like they're a little bit mattified here. So I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so you can compare both sides of my cheek and forehead. Oh, is this awkward? Now you can decide for yourself. This Pure Cosmetics Hydro Fluid Water Serum Foundation, I gotta say I'm not really in love. I feel like all over my face it's starting to sit on top of my skin. I think it looked really, really good like about a half hour to an hour after I put it on. I thought it looked really good. I do think it blended more and like worked more into my skin, and now it's like headed back out. I feel like the dent in my nose is coming back, where I would never have noticed that ever before without makeup or with makeup. And I feel like it is starting to settle places. And not really like, I wouldn't say like in fine lines or and stuff. It's just, I think separating is what I'm saying. Which, it's water-based foundation. So it might not be best with an oily girl because water and oil don't mix, right? So they're trying to get away from each other because they're not friends. So I'm going to show you all around my face again, and now just pay attention to the foundation part. Not like necessarily like pores and matte and whatever. I do think this side of my face is not looking as good as this side. I am impressed with this, and I'll show you in my last check-in if how this mattifies like when you put it on over makeup. Let's look at the foundation. I feel like it's just kind of sitting on top. It's definitely not keeping me matte. It never promised to keep me matte. It's supposed to be for youthfulness. I feel like I look a little milky because it's coming to the surface. Especially right here. In my oiliest area, it is definitely pushing it. I do feel like it's 4 hours in and my blush and stuff is still there, so that's promising because normally those start to go around now. I have a shadow here. I don't know if it's gone. Is it gone right there? And then right here, it looks like it has raised up in my chin. The redness is a lot more visible. It looks surfaced right here. Like it looks like I have like highlighter on right here, but not in a good way. I don't know. I think it looks okay. I definitely don't think it's worth the money right now. We'll see later. Let me tell you what I've done today. I've done very light cleaning, mostly at work, and then I did work. I have not sweat. I was outside for all of like 15 minutes. I did have for my 10-15 minute commute to and from work, I did have the heat on with the windows open so that the dogs could stick their head out the window and I wouldn't freeze. And that does tend to, the heat makes me a little bit more shiny. But I don't want to pay for this much, especially for a foundation that doesn't want to be one with my skin. I'll come back in a few more hours and we'll see what it looks like then. It's pretty much bedtime. Sorry, just thinking about it made me yawn. Alright, this has been on for 9.5 hours now, and so we're just gonna take a little look-see at everything and see how everything held up. I'm going to start with the eyeballs again, and remember this side was the Elizabeth Mott and this side was the Cover FX. Ready? Let's go. I'm really zoomed in. And so you can definitely tell like I've had a lot of wear now recently and that it's gone downhill. So again, Mott FX, and I'm going to close my eyes and you can decide. Okay, upon me looking in the mirror, I felt like this held up better. I feel like they're both pretty good primers. Like, I mean, this is just now starting to be noticeably creasy. So, I mean, I think that's still pretty good. This is expensive though, so I don't think it's worth the price when you can find other ones cheaper, but it still works well. You notice there's some creasing here. If you notice that my, like, eyeshadow has fallen just a little bit more, like, that used to be up here, closer to my brow bone, has fallen just a little bit more than on this eye, and this eyeshadow is no longer as pigmented. This eye still has a lot of pigment in it. So I want you to notice that. I do think that if we were doing a battle of them, I really just wanted to review them and see how well they worked. I think this eye looks a little bit better. Both of them had the sliding down, and this is always a problem for me, where this slides down my transition shades and just above my crease and below my eyebrow slides down. So I normally actually always make sure I put it a little bit higher, especially now that I have more hooded eyes too. So that happened with both of them, but I think this one held up just a little bit better. I also find it a little bit more enjoyable to put the Elizabeth Mott primer on my eye than this one, and than any of my primers. I really like the texture. So this is what it looked like. You can tell that they both did really well and lasted, but I'm going to say if we had to do a winner, that this one is the winner. Now, we'll just stay zoomed in. The Ulta Mattifying Balm I put on this side of my face, and then I covered my whole face with the Hydra Fluid Water Serum Foundation by Pure Minerals. I must say that I feel like this did help some. I am a little disappointed because I was hoping it would help more than it did. However, I really don't like this foundation on me. I wonder if this would work better with another foundation or so. So let's look-see. Remember, the oil mattifying balm was on this side and over, and then this side and over there was not. I do feel like there is a lot more oil on this side. I think my pores have come back over here, and I think there's still a lot of shine over here. I feel like my makeup looks thinner over here, but right here I feel like my makeup looks pushed to the surface. So what this side was doing earlier, I feel like this side is now doing, because this, I don't know if it just disappeared. I don't think there's as much product there. I feel like I may have been too zoomed in for this right here, but this is a big problem area for me. Like, this is the worst and I get more oily, but if I blot that, that's fine. I don't have like a discoloration there or anything, so it's not a big deal if my makeup just comes a little off right here. But I tend to have blush and contour and stuff right here and concealer, so it does look a little weird when my makeup starts to disappear or if I blot it and it disappears. So anyway, I feel like I just looked in the mirror, because again, I can't see out of the little viewfinder there. And I feel like this side of my face does look a little bit less shiny. The pores are definitely coming back. I still feel like it looks a little bit better than this. My makeup in spots looks like it's not much there on this side, but it also looks like it's just still surfaced. And this side, I mean, neither side looks great. I think it's a little shiny. It looks like old makeup, which it is. I mean, it's been 9.5 hours. So, but I would hope to be able to find something that would last like 10 hours, you know. So my nose I don't feel like it really has anything left on it. Right here under my lip, it looks completely gone, which I did not put the oil stuff on under my lip, I don't think, but it looks like it's pretty gone, and I have eaten and drank since last time. Now the chin area right here was already fading, and I feel like it's like gone, but it doesn't look like it's piling up as much right there. And you can see there's some places that look a little bit yellowish on my skin now, which I don't feel like happened before. And like I said, when I've used this before, and I was just a little bit paler a couple weeks ago, a week and a half ago, I felt like it was a little bit too yellow for me, maybe a little bit too dark. It went on quite well today, but I'm wondering if that's kind of the yellowish that's coming back. I thought this was fun. I used a little more blush today than usual, and I think that helps me because I do know that blush does tend to leave my face first with pretty much any foundation I use, because I'm just oily and I don't know if it's flipping sliding because of the heels of my cheeks. I have no idea. But anyway, I wanted to put a little bit more on because I felt like it would be easier to tell if there's still product there, and if it had moved around, and I kind of think that it did help. So anyway, on both cheeks they both look about the same. Actually, this one I feel like, and I'm using the viewfinder for this because it's hard to see in the mirror, but from distance I feel like I look the same on both sides. This might be just a little bit more matte, but I think all the products I think all the products were good except for this. I just don't think it's right for me. I bet like if I hugged somebody right now, they would get my face on them. Like if I wanted to transfer my face, I could just do one of those. So anyway, I like this. I want to show you what it does because I'm interested to see. You're supposed to be able to put it on top of makeup too if you want. So I'm really shiny right here. So let's see. Oh my god. This is amazing. just mattified myself. They need to get this in a travel size. You are good. Alright, I am a little skeptical because that was amazing and I barely put any on. Like, I mean, it's just a weird little gel feeling. Barely put any on. So let's zoom in again and just see, because there might be weird things going on. I don't know. So you see that I put it on right here, and you can actually see where I missed it because that was the oil. I mean, it mattified. My pores are gone. I look like a model. I mean, get this stuff. You need to get this stuff. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Ulta is a cruelty-free brand. Like I said, I don't love the packaging. The packaging is like, it's kind of uneven here and just real cheap and crappy. But whatever, the product's good. Packaging will make me fall in love with something like 10 times better than anything if it's a good product. But if it's a good product, who gives one poop? Anyway, I feel like Ulta is kind of like that hit or miss brand. Like, there's some things I just love from them. There's some things like their body washes that suck. So, anyway, I would recommend this. I'm so excited. I hope you got excited because I'm excited. And now I just want to share it with everybody. Anywho, this is such a good purchase. The Thank Me Later, I definitely love. I knew I loved it. This, I like. I will never purchase again because this one's cheaper and better. Right? I mean, but I think if you do like Cover FX, or like this I got for $10 with the face one, which I have no idea where it went, but I did a previous review on that, and so $10 for 2 of these products I don't think is that bad. So it wasn't, you know, if you need a travel size product, it will still work for you. And then I don't know if I was really legit doing this, but let's just look. There's still a little crusty here on my lips. My lips are pretty much there is a little film on it just left for this, but guys, I'm happy if a lipstick lasts for 3 hours without me having to fix it. 5 and 6 and 7, that's amazing, and this definitely lasted 4. Whenever I checked in earlier, it was still amazing. So OFRA, they know what they're doing. So I think these are all good products except for this, and I wonder if you have like more dry skin, because it does say it's hydrating, and you know, if you don't have such oily skin, I wonder if this would work for you. It feels nice. I did forget to mention that. It feels nice on this skin. It feels just like nothing. The only place I could tell, and I had to like, I don't know, you know, I'm like therapist, right? So like I got into my mindfulness and I paid attention to every spot on my face. And the only place that I could feel this foundation was around my chin. Which is probably because I decided it was going to separate from the actual chin and like make a circle around it. But anyway, these are the products I tried, and I think this is a very useful review, and so I hope that you found this useful. Let me know what you think, and I'm going to review the Buxom new Weightless foundation, I think it is called, that just came out, and I have a lot of eye primers and face primers to try, so I hope that you find this educational, and if you're thinking about getting a pet, please check your local rescues and animal shelters because you could be saving a life. Happy spring! Bye!